Let me ask you a question with a couple different questions, but obviously I'm gonna break them up, and then I want to jump around with the Roland Martins and the Joy Reids and the Plies, and we could just throw in Ricky Smiley, Steve Harvey, D.L. Hughley. You can throw in Charlamagne the God. You can throw in all of these pieces, right? All of these people. What do you think that their incentive is? Because for me
Money.
personally, I believe that it's financial, A, right? But then I
Mhm.
also believe that some of these people are friends with this person, right? And that they have an incentive and they're biased, which is disingenuous to lead the people that are following them, which it seems like the majority of them have a women following, a woman only following, or majority women following. It seems disingenuous. But from your perspective, what do you think that the main incentives are for a Roland Martin, who seems like he would be open-minded or educated enough, but we know that he's 100% liberal. We know he's 100% a Democrat. I'm trying to understand what the incentive is from these people that have these large followings to continue to push people, even though we have the level of education that we have now to see that has been so destructive for our communities. What do you think the incentive is for them to continue to push this agenda?
Well, first, I'd like to say that I don't even think they're friends with this person because the
Mm,
majority of the people speaking out against Trump were friends with Trump. So it wouldn't make sense if maybe they were supporting them because that's their friend. Because Trump was not just their friend, but a very generous sponsor to a lot of their causes. Trump wasn't
yep,
just a friend, but a very generous promoter for the things that they were doing. Trump wasn't just a friend. He was somebody who was damn near family to some of these folks at weddings, at baby showers, at all of these different things. So that's to start there. Is everybody disloyal, clearly. Then next, it's definitely there's a financial aspect to it. And the finances, I think, come from, the same type of people who were paying folks to feed Huey P. Newton heroin, the same type of people who were paid to go into that ballroom and shoot up Malcolm X, the same type of people who were paid to go into the Black Panther Party once all the leaders were assassinated and start rumors and dramas to, cause distrust and all of these things. Like, those were all Black people. And those were all very well paid Black people
mm,
who knew what they were doing was wrong but looked out for themselves first. And I think, unfortunately, like those historical figures and like the ones we have now, nobody's paying attention to the fact that eternity is a long ass time. And
yep.
we're here for a very, very, very little amount of time compared to eternity. So,
Mm-hmm.
with that being said, to think that you would allow yourself to go ahead and cause generations and generations of just pure just suffering, pure chaos, pure anarchy, you would promote that so that your net worth stays above a certain amount. You would promote that so that only your family will be good, because these folks will tell you that the Department of Education is working
Yep.
and public schools are great, but all their kids go to private school.
Yep.
The same private schools that Trump is encouraging that we start a voucher program so that every child would be allowed to go to those schools. Because when we talk about the illiteracy rate that exists in these, inner cities, you notice that every politician's kid can read because their kids aren't going to these public schools that are purposely underfunded. And then
Mm-hmm.
it's like, y'all act like y'all don't know that these appraisers, do what they do in Black neighborhoods and therefore the taxes are down. So if we had a different system in which now you're not dependent on, property taxes so much
Mm-hmm.
to pay for your child's education, if we really made it a thing where it was up to the states and the states had to be held accountable for where all the money was going, and then they also had to be accountable for the progress or lack of progress once these policies are instituted. Like, I don't get why people are acting like we don't need that.
Yeah.
People like Roland Martin and Joy Reid might have grew up poor, but I can guarantee you they don't go to nobody's poor ass neighborhood ever. Not for a school drive, not for a resource fair, not for no reason. The only time they're in the inner city is when they're on somebody's TV in the intercity.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, y'all aren't even there really seeing for yourselves the plight of Black people or hearing on ground what Black people are going through, but you're taking talking points from the people that are paying you and you're pushing it. And this is obvious with the new narrative of joy. Everything about the Biden Waltz administration is just bringing joy. What did Michelle Obama say? Hope is making a comeback, and it's like,
Oh my God.
where the hell has hope been the last 3.5 years?
You speaking
What
the
what would
sentiments of my heart, but that's the same thing that they use in order to get Obama in office, though, right? So it's the same thing. I mean, we seen it at the Democratic National Convention. That was what Michelle Obama led her speech with. was a whole joy thing. When I looked at this CNN interview, they keep talking about the sentiment and the division. I think that when people are broke, that kind of
They're
souls
not feeling joy. Nobody has felt joy since these folks took office. The
100%.
first of the month is tomorrow, ain't it? Or Sunday, or one of them. Either
Yep, it's,
way,
it's
folks is
Sunday.
not feeling joyous when they're paying their rent. Folks are not feeling joyous. Mommy's talking, baby. The folks do not feel joyous when folks are paying their utilities. Folks are not joyous at the gas pump. Folks are not joyous at the grocery store. Like, people are not feeling joy at all. Yet these folks are getting on TV and trying to convince you that your suffering is joyful.
Yep, I agree.
What you feel is not disdain, it is joy. What you feel is not stress, this is joy. And all that they're doing is preparing you to feel like this for another 4 years. And they're just going to keep telling you that no, 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 it's joy. And it's crazy because if Trump had came out and tried to use a joyous quote or, get himself a little slogan for his campaign, the first thing they would have brought up was Nazis. One of the first pieces of Nazi propaganda said strength through joy.
Mm,
And that's how
mm.
everybody to come together and get ready for this new order that they were about to push in. Strength through joy. And now the Democrats are pushing that. Yet let Trump get up and say that. And watch how they expose that information. And
You,
stop using it.
you know what? I'm gonna play a clip really quickly from CNN from the interview, and I want to tackle this immigration policy really quickly. But before I do that, because I like to jump around and kind of, you know what I'm saying, mine out who you are. Do you think that you're intimidating? Like, I don't know what your status is as far as like, single, together, whatever. You don't have to disclose that here.
Oh no, I'm
But
single as a Pringle.
do you think that you're intimidating to men?
um, yes and no. Yes to insecure men, no to confident ones.
Because you're very like well spoken. You can put it out
Yeah,
there.
and I don't take no BS. I'm very big on holding people accountable because it's like like the way my life turned out, I have nobody to blame really but myself. All
Oh,
of the major life
we.
pivotal years that I've gone through, like, that was college, and I mean, I'm only 28, so just through
You a
college and
baby. You a
becoming a mother,
baby.
I guess somebody come spoil me then. But anyway,
Oh,
just
you know you
all of
coming to
my
Detroit, right? We treat people different here in the city.
Oh, baby, I was there for the People's Convention. Okay, I love the Big Meats treatment. They said they come right back. Yep, let's go. Let's
Hmm.
go have some fun. But I I'm fun. So I think that's what really lessens the intimidation factor. Is like I'm really funny. I'm good for a joke. Always got like some kind of witty comeback, and like men usually like that. They be like, "Oh, you talk shit, huh?" And I'm like, "Yeah, all day," and they love it. So, but I am tall. I'm 5'9", and like a cool 180. So I'm a big girl. So like I walk into a room and I'm gonna make sure I'm in the room. But I think the fact that I'm not self conscious about like myself, I don't think I have reason to be. And then it's like I don't know, like I don't know. I just feel like I just walk into a room and automatically assume everybody loves me. So the confidence is also like a thing. So like I don't think I intimidate men. If I have, they haven't really let me know. Men don't really get intimidated until they're actually with me and they see how much of a go getter I am. If they're not on that same level, then it's like, oh snap. But meeting me, I'm very approachable. I would like to think.